These people, they're just crazy. Cernovich, take over. Posobiec, take over. I mean, I don't want violence. Those that are violent first lose. We're winning intellectually, but that's why they're mad trying to do this. But you can't just go on CNN and say, we're going to kill the president. I mean, that's not like some crazy guy, you know, in his apartment who doesn't even have a BB gun saying that. This is like a dangerous guy with connections to killers saying we're going to kill the president. I mean, I, as a responsibility as an American, I'm not going to do anything because obviously it'd take a long time. A lot of others, I would never break the law, of course. I'm saying I instinctively feel like I should be going and doing something myself. And I'm not just saying that. We built this. We're doing something. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm saying this guy says he's going to kill my president. He's got the wherewithal to do it. He looks all crazy when he's saying it. And I'm just like, as an American, I mean, you know, and there are a lot of people more serious than me that are close to him. Does he have any idea? Like, if I had odds on this, I guarantee you I'm not going to do anything violent because I don't want to be blamed for it. I don't think this guy, unless things go the way he thinks they are, I think there's canoeing accidents in this guy's future. That's all I'm saying. What do you think?
I thought it was interesting how Jake Tapper immediately knew the guy had said too much and goes, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what you really meant. So if I had said, you know what, we're going to kill Hillary Clinton, Jake Tapper would be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Murderers, Trump people, murderers. So Jake Tapper actually was like, whoa, whoa, you weren't supposed to tell people about a plot to assassinate the president. You know, CNN is ISIS. This goes back to everything's coming together. Jake Tapper should have said, I disavow, this is terrible, you're not allowed here. But meanwhile, some idiot like Jeffrey Lord makes a satirical Hitler comment, which everybody knew that he was trying to say that, you know, Jeffrey Lord of CNN got fired because he goes, oh, Sieg Heil. But he was saying that's what the Media Matters people do. Is
yeah, he's saying they're cult-like Nazi followers.
Exactly.
So are we going to boycott Stanley Kubrick because he made fun of Dr. Strangelove with Mein Führer, I can walk?
Right, or anybody with a Hitler costume.
All right, you guys got stuff to cover, but just real fast. Posobiec, what is your view on this?
Yeah, Alex, my take on it is that what they're trying to do here is normalize the idea of the deep state taking out Trump, or of people normalizing more further violence against Trump supporters. We saw this in Pennsylvania this week, where a rabid anti-Trumper, this Democrat activist, shot his Republican committeeman neighbor twice in the head in front of the guy's wife. And then the national media has been completely silent on this story. Why won't they talk about violence, murder at this point against
That's
Trump
right. They
supporters?
stir it up, they push it, and then when it happens, they don't cover it, but intensify, going, it's working, thinking they're going to intimidate all of us. From all they're doing is giving us more energy. Don't they understand that?
I don't think they do understand it, Alex. Remember, this is the same people that last year, when President Trump was talking about supporting the Second Amendment, they all ran around for the week saying that he called to assassinate Hillary Clinton. Trump said, well, I support the Second Amendment people. And they said, aha, Trump has said he's going to assassinate Hillary. They ran fake news for weeks and weeks based off of that. But now we've got a guy here on CNN who literally said, kill the president. When Jake Tapper... He said, we're going to kill him. He said, we're setting it up to kill him, and he's the guy at the CIA that used to set it up for overthrowing countries. I mean, it's like a brain surgeon saying, I'm going to do brain surgery. He's up there. This is what he does. This is a dangerous person. This is how they train these people. That's how they train them to think. That's how they train them to operate. This is what the type of people we have, not only dealing in the highest levels of some of these black teams in our intelligence community, but also at the same levels in academia, in the Beltway, the Department of Defense, and you're seeing it as well at CNN, which is actually, I'm sitting here in Atlanta, just a few blocks away from me, believe it or not.
And I know you guys have the Google protests and other stuff, so go ahead and take over. I just love being with you guys. Again, Jack Posobiec's with us as well. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on Facebook. And people say, well, then why are you bashing YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but staying on it? Paul is his own man. He's decided to leave YouTube. I called him this morning. He said, listen, if they keep censoring my videos, I'm never going back. He goes, I want to cause a debate. We got to start some class action suits. Congress is talking about this being a violation. And I said, okay, I respect that. I guess he'll do new videos. We'll put them on my platform, but then I got to pay for the bandwidth.
But Alex, I want to make a point that people need to recognize, that the YouTube didn't create content. They obtained Paul Joseph Watson's labor under false pretenses, under lying. They said, come to our platform, link to people, bring people to here because we don't have anything but
Paul
you.
had a following. Except we bring them the following.
Exactly. So now YouTube is so big, they go, oh, well, we don't need you. It's kind of like that person that you help out in life and you build up.
They're saying, we don't need you. Yeah. YouTube says, we don't need you anymore. We're now globalist tube.
Right, but he built them up. Paul Joseph Watson gave them tens of millions of dollars in free advertising. So he needs to just make them kill him. And that is why, Alex, you should do a march on Google in Austin. That's what we're going to talk to Jack about.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we need a march on Google in Austin. That can be yours. We're doing them nationwide. We need big marches. We need to.
I'm going to support. I'm going to cover live. I'm going to send reporters. You just tell us you're with InfoWars now as a correspondent. We're going to have you as soon as we get it organized because we're just already fighting so hard. It's kind of like one of our future development leaders, Cernovich. I just got to work out the deal to bring Cernovich. Already asked about money though. He just wants to. I mean, I just want to team up with everybody, magnify everyone. That's what we're going to do. We're all going to amplify each other and defeat the enemy.
Right. So so let's talk about the March on Google and brainstorm it then. Jack Posobiec is planning it and organizing it. And while you're here, why don't you just add your feedback too, and then we can figure out the way to have the biggest impact meme contest. I'm sponsoring it with $10,000 of my journalism fund for meme contests and things like that to just encourage people to participate in the journalism.
Well, I tell you what, if you'll manage the account and the email, Do has 500 videos now with me trying to go through just on our contest with the music song. We're gonna have to put that up a few weeks to even announce the winner, so we just show all the videos and give them the respect they deserve and try to judge them. How about, because I did the CNN thing with $200,000, but then it was so hard for folks to get live on CNN. We only paid out like 70 grand of that. We just paid out 20 on another deal. Jack, how about for InfoWars, if I give you access to email at contest at InfoWars, we create a new one. How about a big prize? Like how about $50,000, and then you can manage it. You're better at the stuff than I am at actually working 80 hours a day and actually, because I'm just overwhelmed right now. How about $50,000 prize? How about a 2-week limit so it's quick? We're videos that are legal and lawful, where you expose internet censorship, free for all, as long as you plug InfoWars, as long as you plug, the different activists, as long as you show it, what we're doing, and showing that there's a Chinese-style net censorship coming, and that they've used their public utility trust to now cheat everybody. How about a $50,000 contest? How about you come up with it? You and Posobiec, how about you guys manage it?
Yeah, that's a perfect project for Jack. Yeah, so he's leading the march, and that's a great idea, Alex. Absolutely.
How about 50,000 for whoever legally flies helicopters over Google exposing it, or airdrops of pamphlets, or projecting stuff on their walls, or going to their public events and speaking to them, or whatever it is to get through. Is it just
Alex,
Google?
They're not even having public events anymore. They were going to have an event yesterday where they were going to discuss what happened to James Damore, this guy who got fired. And so I went to Twitter and I said, hey, and I would say, this was without even the contest. I said, hey, if anybody is reading my Twitter within the sound of my voice and is going to be there, can you get pictures? Can you get audio? Tell us what's going on. At least get us a report of what's going on inside Google behind their closed doors. The minute they did that, they completely shut down the entire event. There was no discussion. There was nobody allowed in or out. And they said because they were worried that people were going to leak it. Well, I'm sorry, Google, you're in our data. You're in our emails. You're reading all of our conversations. But with the minute we try to shine a light on what you guys are up to, they immediately shut it down. So I would even add, Alex, the idea that if someone is within Google and is willing to tell us what exactly is going on behind those closed doors.
Well, that's it. They need to start leaking to us, because this is a foreign intelligence body bigger than our government, allied with radical Islam, destroying our culture. That's a great point, that they've tried to censor over and over again. They've always tried to back off after eating around the edges. They're pushing all of them together. All the big platforms together are pushing together right now to normalize this. And if it's successful, how bad will it get, Cernovich? Because, they're clearly moving right now.
Oh, no, that's the thing is, here's why they want to remove us from social media. Right now, if we were framed for a crime or murdered, or they do a hit job, we go on social media and respond. So what they're doing is they want to target us for assassination. And if we're banned from social media and we're killed and the media doesn't cover it, nobody will even know. The people won't even know, and then they'll ban everybody who talks about. So no, this is a setup for targeted assassinations on anybody who is speaking out against the evil that's being done.
And by the way, Mike Cernovich is not being a drama queen here. He is totally on target. The globalists funded the Arab Spring that killed over 1 million innocent people, most of them Christians. The globalists fail states to bring down Africa. The globalists are ruthless and raid pension funds of old people and public utilities and police funds and firefighting funds and old folks' homes. They're totally psychopathic. Soros, one of their top guys, was a Nazi collaborator when he was a teenager. They support China and forced abortions and suicide nets and hell on earth. They support radical Islam. So the only reason they haven't done all this yet is because they couldn't get away with it because American values said no. And they're using leftist garbage now to try to just get this in place long enough to have a purge. Kill Trump and kill us. So make no mistake, what he's saying is true. And that's exactly why I asked the question. We've gone to this point, and they're accelerating it all because they're about to make their move. That's why we've got to have maximum effort now on every front to kick their butt. I was really upset on election night, and BuzzFeed got it wrong when they said Jones was upset that Trump got it because he'd make less money or whatever. I was upset because I knew the real war had just started. I was glad Trump got in, but then I realized now they're really going to go crazy. I was upset like somebody getting ready for a death battle. Like, knowing I got to go in the arena now, and the monster coming out of that pit is going to be 5 times bigger. So I was just basically kissing my kids goodbye. And because I'd already war gamed it all out, now we'd had this victory, and now America being saved yet again would made it that much sweeter. And it made me sick to realize if more people would just wake up, we wouldn't have to go down this road. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, guys. And I am going to leave now. Go ahead.
Yeah, if Hillary had won, I just would have left the country. I wouldn't, because I would know that it would be over. So in a way, my life would be easier because if Hillary had won, I just would have left the country, moved to Hungary, maybe moved to Buenos Aires. And because I'd realize if I stayed in the country, they would just take me out, and then they would leave me alone because I was gone. So Trump winning actually made my life far more dangerous now with H.R. McMaster holding multiple meetings about me, confirmed by 3 different independent journalists.
That's why I love Cernovich. He's on this. We're synced, man. I knew, like, oh my God, we're winning. That's great. But it was the responsibility of knowing that this was total commitment now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things. I could be having charcuterie and wine in Buenos Aires, if Hillary had won. And now I just deal with people lying about me, smearing me, people who claim to be my friends, stabbing me in my back. My life is way more difficult than it would be because now the war ratcheted up, because now they're flipping people and getting people that you thought were your allies or your friends. They're flipping on you and sabotaging you. So it's dirty. But anyway, that's why the March on Google that Jack is organizing and that we're going to work on to cover is so important. So I would love to hear Jack talk about the March on Google.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So what we already started is we realized that with Google, it's such a large company, it's such a huge pervasive search engine, it's in so many aspects of our lives that originally we thought we were just going to do something right up in at the Mountain View complex, that Googleplex that everybody knows about. But then as it got expanded, people started realizing and said, hey, Jack, you know what? There's Google offices in almost every single large city in the United States. There's even some international. So people are saying,
well, that's what we war game live on air. With Mike, I just said, hey, Google's got a big office here, too. They've got them everywhere.
You've got one in Austin, right? 2.
They got the big one downtown and then another one in the Hill Country.
Well, that's what we have to do. We've got to divide and conquer because, yeah, Google's huge, but what can they do? There are still going to be more of us than they are of them. So yesterday we just announced the first 5 cities. We're going to be doing Mountain View officially up in the San Francisco area, as well as Austin, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, New York City, Washington, D.C. We've probably got about 2 more or 3 more people that have reached out to me with points of contact that say, hey, we've got big groups. We want to get out there. We want our voice heard against these people because it's been too long that Google is being tried to.
Sure, nothing against patriots going to bars and having meet and greets. And that's all about having a social culture. Everybody coming together, very diverse crowds, good people, a lot of fun. Going out and marching, and not just going to the Antifa strongholds, but going to Google where they're totally freaked out and just laughing and exposing them and shooting videos that you then put online scares them because they're scared of human. They're scared of human action.
Yeah, they've been triggered, Alex. We saw the article today that came out that somebody was going around in Venice Beach, outside the Google offices there, putting up signs that say, Apple, think different, Google, not so much. right up at the bus stations, you know, a little joke, kind of a meme sign, like a prank, and they were losing their minds over this. There were people who were stopping there. Had the gulag.
Well, it's funny you say that. Our plan is with a bunch of big outfits that create these big street art stickers you put up legally and lawfully, so it's not spray paint, you peel them off, is we're going to run a bunch of stuff against Google all over town, you know, talking about how they help folks get arrested so they can be, you know, killed in Pakistan, and Facebook as well. Why just go after Google, though? Shouldn't we go after Facebook, Twitter, and everybody else? I mean, I get this targeted one's about Google, but I guess later we should also go against everybody else.
Yeah,
this isn't going to be a one-day campaign, Alex. We're going to start it with Google. I think we should definitely go forward with the other ones in a time-staggered manner. Absolutely.
Yeah, Google's hot because of the James Damore firing and the diversity memo. So as you know, whenever there's a wave, you want to ride that wave rather than create your own wave. You know, as a thinker and as an expert, you want to make waves, but if somebody else has made a wave, which Google has
you
done,
make waves and you jump waves.
Exactly. So Google has made two waves. One is YouTube has created what I call the YouTube ghetto. And the YouTube ghetto, just like during World War II, you know, Hitler would put Jews over in ghettos, private areas, put stars on them. The YouTube now, they're saying, well, if you're a dissident thinker, you have to go in this little ghetto and we're going to flag it and we're not going to let people talk. It's very Nazi-like tactics coming from the left because Nazism was a collectivist movement, and what we're seeing now with the social justice
and it's exactly the same. They go after little accounts first, then the medium, then the big ones, and the big ones are like, they even tell you, one time I had Facebook, like, a major Facebook exec would like to meet with you, stop making waves and we'll promote you. As soon as I didn't cut off they were like 30% of our traffic. When they did that, they went to like 10%. So this is how they do it, and they even tell you, come to this party, work with us, and we'll stop doing it. We think it'll be worth, you know, all this money for you. But then once they get you to go along with shutting everybody else off, then they can get you, and there's nobody there to stand up for you.
Exactly right. So that's why the march on Google first. But we need to start going to the executives' homes. It is 100% legal for people to find out where Google executives live and knock on their neighbors' doors and say, hey, why is it that Google promotes pedophilia, but they're banning conservative thinkers? Why do they ban Christians and pro-Christian thinkers, but they allow pedophiles to use their platforms? And here's pedophiles. So they don't even know what is going to be unleashed. This march on Google is like one op, but eventually we're going to start going to their homes.
Sure,
and
it's about the detonator. This is the detonator.
And my sources as well within Google and even in public have been talking a little bit more about what Eric Schmidt, Cernovich, I know you know about this, the fact that Eric Schmidt, the original founder, that this is a guy who lives an open marriage with his wife. He's involved with Burning Man. He's involved with all sorts of stuff that's been going on. At times in the past, he's been involved with people that were his subordinates at the company. No, not even sure if that's with company policy or the legality of some of this in some cases. But they're out at Burning Man. They're out there. They're doing drugs. This is part of Google culture, and we're going to expose it.
Ooh, that's an idea.
Yeah, what we're going to be doing is, if they really want to ratchet it up, what we're going to do is we're going to go into their personal lives.
Which is what Google does. I mean, we just lost Cernovich's feed. They get in our lives. They have cars going around that are robot, grabbing our data, breaking into our computers. They were allowed to by Obama. And that's where Trump's missed the boat. And Trump's great, but he is 71, and I don't know a lot about computer stuff, but I know about the basics. Google was so scared of him at first, but then because all these people, you know, hang out from his campaign with him, and Google's kind of patted him on the head, they're trying to get rid of Trump because they know he may wake up any moment. He's got all the power in the world to stop them from what they're doing, but instead they're trying to destroy him, and Trump's doing nothing about it.
Yeah, and Alex, one of the dirty little secrets of Google is the Obama administration and Google employees. There were staffers. It was like a revolving door. You were working in the White House, then you were back at Google. You were a lobbyist for Google, and then you were in the White House. So many of the legislation, so much stuff that went through FCC, like net neutrality rules during the Obama administration, they were written directly by Google executives. And we're going to expose this, the way that Google has gotten in bed with our government. And the libertarians, I love libertarians, but they're saying, hey, guys, this is a private company.
No, they work with the government to take everything over and are now shutting down our speech. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, you're exactly right, though. It's because this is a different situation. This is not just a private company operating on its own. If it were, then, hey, you know what? It's a free country. But they're in bed with our government. They're regulating
us. And it's got political groups like the ADL in there as their censorship brain.
Right, so the collusion that's been going on between them, the Democrat Party, the federal government, the FCC, it's all intertwined, and that's what we need to expose. This isn't the 1800s when companies were off doing their own thing anymore. They've all intertwined, and they've learned how to game the system to their favor.
They're beyond a government.
What we're marching against.
Even The Guardian says it's an authoritarian takeover. Even real liberals say that. Cernovich?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And there's also the antitrust issues that nobody wants to talk about. Google and YouTube are now monopolies. They don't have, so we have to talk about antitrust regulation against Google. There's a lot of, here's the big problem they made, Alex, strategically, okay? Tech is one of the few industries in America that engages in shady practices, but Americans love tech. They've now waged war against half of the country. They have no idea the implications on that. They're no longer seen as the white knights or the white hat people. They're now being seen as people who are fully entering the culture war.
That's right. You're not in the white knight Buck Rogers thing. We love you. We're going to leave you alone because you're Americana and our best thing's tech. We know you're allied with radical Islam. We know you're in bed with China with suicide nets at your factories. We know you're jerks that have gotten all the wealth of America and now want to piss in our faces, and it's not going to happen. You're going to get leaked on, just like when they're trying to shut me down. You got the documents. They admitted they were real, backed off real quick. And we just want them to get out of the way. Have your trillions, have all your women, have your helicopters and jets. Just stop trying to screw us over.
Yeah, go be degenerate. Have your drugs. Yeah.
Sorry, Cernovich, go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead, Jack.
Saying, what's the message with these marches? What's our final message? And our message is, let us live our lives. We're not going to shut you down. We don't want you to shut us down, period.
Yeah, they're the ones coming after us. You know, there is a danger, though, just like MySpace and stuff. Won't they extinct themselves and force the real organic web that's bigger away from them?
Yeah, it's like I said, they didn't think this through. They haven't war gamed it outright. All they're doing now is inviting, for example, there's something called a double Irish. It's a major tax dodge that Facebook and these tech companies do where they claim that their revenue was in Ireland and they got fined $10 billion by the EU.
It's offshoring tax avoidance.
Yeah, so I've been ranting about this for 5 years. Like, why is this allowed? Nobody cared because, oh, if you're conservative, you should care about these multi-trillion-dollar tech companies. Well, now we're going to try to close these tax loopholes. We're going to go after them, antitrust, FCC, taxes. It's going to be a full frontal attack on it, and that's what they've welcomed. And people like me have been waiting to get people
Yeah, let's be clear. Google's got something like $300 billion offshore we know of. Apple even more. Bezos. And then they're like telling middle-class people our taxes should be higher. They're just horrible. They run the worst death factories in China. They're not even liberals. They are horrible fascist scum who think they're going to destroy America, and it's not going to happen. Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, you guys are amazing. Everybody should go to your website, support what we're doing, and be part of this big Google march. I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. with the Sunday transmission.